we're continuing our conversation in regards to just access to capital, financial wealth, and how the entrepreneur is going to be able to tap into that. So I did have a very particular question, because everyone is not necessarily familiar with capital, right? So with that capital, I want to understand, one, for those who are unfamiliar, what is a business loan, and what are some of the terms that can fall into?
That's a great question, Ken. A business loan, essentially it's any type of loan that's for your business, whether it's to help your business grow, start a business through startup financing. You could use a loan to buy a commercial building, right, for your business, or even a line of credit for your business for working capital. I'll kind of get into a little bit more details of what those things are.
Yeah.
The first three things that I said were loan to start your business, grow your business, to buy a building. Those would be called term loans.
Term loans.
Term loans, okay. Right? What is a term loan? It's any type of loan that has a term, right? 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, right? And it has a fixed payment, monthly installment, and then it gets paid off at the end of whatever term it is, as we mentioned. But then the other thing would be a line of credit, right? So, what's a line of credit? What's a business line of credit? The way I like to describe a business line of credit is like a credit card, right? It's revolving. You use it, you pay it, you use it, you pay it, right? So say you have a line of credit for, let's just throw a number out like $25,000.
Okay.
You use the entire amount, you pay it off. Well, now you have that $25,000 available again.
Yeah.
But the main difference between a line of credit and a credit card would be the interest rate. The interest rate on a credit card would be significantly higher than that of a line of credit. Also, a line of credit would be you to be able to access cash. Where a credit card, you're not necessarily able to access cash because of the fees associated with taking cash advances out on a credit card. That's why you would use a line of credit, because not everything you can pay with a card if you're a business owner, right? Some things you need to actually pay with cash.
Yeah.
And then in regards to that line of credit, why would a business need a line of credit, right? It's for that working capital for short term. That's the main difference between a term loan and a line of credit. Okay. A term loan is for something that is going to require a length of time to pay off. Like if you're buying a building, a commercial building, that's going to need a length of time to pay off. If you're buying equipment for your business, that's going to need time to pay off. A line of credit is for short-term expenses, things that you're going to pay off quickly.
Can you give me an example?
So if you're a business owner and say you have inventory, right? Maybe you're a retail store. We'll say a clothing store, for example. You need to buy inventory, and once you sell that inventory, you're going to get cash. So you would use that line of credit to buy your inventory. You would sell that inventory, and once that inventory is sold, you'd pay off the line of credit. So that'd be that short-term financing, right? It helps bridge that gap from the time you make those purchases to the time that those goods are sold.
Gotcha.
There's a gap in between payment that you'll need to be able to sustain your business and pay those business operations. So that's huge. Understanding that as a business owner, understanding the type of loan that you may need is very crucial and important. And that's where I come in as your business banker and provide that advisement to what type of loan or line of credit you need for your business.
Perfect. Yeah. Delving in business, right? We talk about these financial services and loans and lines of credit, and just so many different things that needs a business is always going to need, because obviously, most of us does not have the capital to front for the business, right? So this is why banking is always good. However, as we know, there's not always great opportunities for veterans or minorities or just the everyday person trying to access a business loan. Can you take us down a step by step to giving us a better opportunity and chance to be able to get that capital or get that access to capital?
Absolutely. When we're talking about traditional bank financing, traditional lenders, oftentimes they'll have certain requirements, right? 2 years in business, maybe 3 years in business. They'll need to hit certain benchmarks to be able to qualify for those loans or lines of credit.
So number one, must have a 2-year span of business.
Correct. A lot of times that's usually the basic requirement for a lot of traditional bank financing, right? Some maybe a year, some might require 3, but they're going to require some length of time in business in order to underwrite the loans. However, if you're a business owner and you don't fit in the traditional parameters, as you mentioned, if you're a veteran, minority-owned businesses, and you're starting off and you need that access to capital for your business, there's something called CDFIs. These are community development financial institutions. These are huge. They're available nationwide. Their main purpose is to serve the community and provide access to capital in the community to help businesses, whether you're starting them, to help them grow.
Wow.
And they offer, and this is not anything like those predatory lenders that charge high rates, right? Really unfavorable terms to business owners. These are legitimate organizations that are providing very fair terms to business owners and have different guidelines to be able to give you that access to capital. And as I mentioned earlier, this is where I come in and can look at this and say, hey, unfortunately, this is something that maybe I can't help you with, but I have a contact through a CDFI that can. So oftentimes, I've been able to do that in the past for my business owners, and that's made me extremely happy, is knowing, hey, I was able to refer you to a CDFI to get you that access to capital, and then guess what happens? 2 to 3 years later, their business has grown exponentially, and now they can qualify for traditional bank financing. Right?
That's amazing. That's amazing.
It comes back full circle.
Yeah.
So that's huge. So that's definitely one of the great enjoyments of my career, my job, what I'm doing every day, and I do it with a passion, because I truly do love working with small business owners every single day, and especially small business owners that are veterans. Being from San Diego, having family members that are veterans, it gives me extra enjoyment knowing that they've served their country, right? They served our country, and being able to give back and help, serve them as well.
Perfect.
Through that.
Perfect, man. That's excellent. Excellent. So obviously, number one, obviously have a length of time of business served, right? Every business needs that. Trying to get some traditional financing, because traditional financing typically would give you better terms for the most part.
Correct.
Right. And just kind of, I want to reiterate. So you said CDFI.
CDFI, Community Development Financial Institution. You could look it up.
Okay.
And you can go online, Google, and you'll be able to search any CDFI in your area. And whether you're in Las Vegas or San Diego, me being from San Diego, I know quite a few of them. I have a lot of contacts. So if you're a business owner in my neck of the woods, and I'm working with you, I'd be able to give you a direct referral.
And veterans,
myself.
we'll definitely put a link down in the bio here, or the area, to make sure that you guys understand what a CDFI is and kind of where you can even search to find one. Okay, because we want to make sure that you guys have access to that capital, because it's very important. So, but when we're talking about CDFIs, I want to kind of get a little bit, just a little bit deeper when we're talking about that. So we're talking about CDFIs. Could you explain if it is a bank, a hard money lender, or even is it a payday loan? Like, what is it in particular?
CDFI?
Yes.
They're neither of those things. They're not a hard money lender, not like a payday lender. Their terms are very similar to a traditional bank financing, right? Rates, things of that nature. What they do, though, is their underwriting guidelines aren't that of a traditional bank, if that makes sense. So for lack of better terms, their underwriting guidelines are a little bit more flexible to be able to fit that particular business or that business owner, to be able to give them that financing. So that's the good thing, being a business owner, is that'll give you a peace of mind of knowing that although the financing is not through a traditional bank method, the terms you're going to get are very reasonable for you, nothing predatory at all.
Got it. So
that'll give you that peace of mind that you're not going to get trapped into some kind of predatory financing.
Got it. So just to kind of bit it at a ground level. So it's an independent financer that you have access to, that can that you always can refer out, so they can be approved in a very traditional way for the most part.
Yeah, a lot of these organizations are nonprofits.
Okay. Excellent.
So they're funded actually through grants Banks actually fund them, right?
Oh,
you know
wow,
what I'm saying?
okay.
Yeah. So that's where they that also give that business owner an understanding of knowing, yeah, these organizations are actually are nonprofits.
Okay, perfect, man. That's excellent. Oh man, that's great news. That I learned something today, right? So I definitely hope you guys learned something. So with it being nonprofits, do they have their personal, their personal preference on who they would like to give to for the larger organizations, to the CDFIs or nonprofits that they're giving? Is there like a certain, I would say, these banks or the grants that are given, is there a certain area where the finances they would like to direct? Is it minorities? Is it veteran community that they focus on? Is it a certain demographic of people that they focus on when giving these funds?
Not necessarily, because it is open to all business owners, right?
Okay.
So if you're working with these organizations, typically they're going to their main objective is to provide access to capital within the communities. A lot of communities that are underserved. So to answer your question, yes, it is definitely to provide capital to underserved communities.
Okay.
But more importantly, it's to be able to provide capital to business owners that wouldn't necessarily be able to get financing for their business.
Understood.
More than anything, that's the main objective. For me to speak in terms of their mission statement, I don't want to speak on behalf of them. Just more of the fact that those resources are available. And me being a business banker working with you as a business owner saying, hey, there are resources available. Let me have you talk to somebody that can help you and give you more information.
Got it.
And then they'd be able to tell you exactly what they do.
Perfect. So basically providing that linchpin to serve, right? Always making sure that they're able to get what they need. That's excellent.
Yeah, the key is basically, sorry to interrupt.
No, please.
The key basically is if me, myself, it's not just, hey, no, I can't help you. It's let me look for an option for you, see what options are available.
Excellent.
And that's the key more than anything is to give our business owners options. And that's the most important thing.
And that's why we have you here, right? We really are focused on serving our community. If we can provide you service, that's what we always want to do. And Mr. Eddie Chavez is doing the work out here. So, I guess the next question I would say is, so with that, is it different, loan requirements or requirements for these CDFIs to approve, certain people or certain geographical locations, certain, credit scores? Is it certain aspects? I understand, it's based on obviously particularly bank terms for the most part, traditional financing for the most part. But do they have any type of restrictions in geographical locations?
Yeah, a lot of them actually, it's a great question, they do. So that's why depending on the area you're in, you're gonna wanna work with a CDFI that's in your area.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So yes, so to answer your question, it is based on geographical locations, but typically your area will have a CDFI.
All right.
And again, me being in San Diego, I know of a few, and then that's how I'm easily able to refer to those CDFIs that are in my area.
Okay.
San Diego, for example.
Perfect. So you think I can find one in Alaska?
And possibly, I'd have to Google Alaska.
No worries. I'm sure we'll find something there.
Definitely here in Las Vegas.
Hey, man, no, we have a lot of veterans in Alaska. We want to make sure that they're taken care of, too. So, again, I think we'll be able to find a resource to find a CDFI locator. So,
absolutely.
Most definitely. All right. Well, perfect. Well, thank you so much. That was a great segment. Again, please make sure you guys tune in for the next segment. Again, prepare to compete.